What you are seeing right here is a beautiful piece of engineering crafted by the guild Color, which is a very good high-level guild. Now, things at the moment look pretty weird. As you can see from the raid frames, pretty much over half the raid is missing. If you look at the minimap, there is also nobody else besides these 8 players showing up. What you also see, interestingly, is that everyone else in the raid has a summon icon on top of their frame. Now, let's see what they were planning to do with this.
Hold your breath, yeah.
I will back road.
If I get fragments. Probably breath now. Beacon.
Oh my god!
This fucking
That's
stupid.
Well, that is a mythic boss dead in 31 seconds. So, what happened in this clip is that the guild found a way to reliably make it so that 4 Augmentation Evokers buffed only 4 players. In this case, 2 Demonology Warlocks, 1 Mage and 1 Death Knight. If you can see from the minimap, they are also spread apart. The 4 DPS players that are going to be buffed are all stacked together on top of one mark, and the Evokers are spread around the room. The reason for that is because, of course, maybe you don't know this about Evokers, but Evokers can decide who to hit with the Ebon Might buff by using Prescience on 2 targets, but then the other 2 Ebon Mights are going to go to the other closest allies. And because you don't want to buff the other Evokers with Ebon Might, but instead you want to buff the Warlocks, the Mage and the DK, the 4 Evokers have spread around the room to make sure, to guarantee that their Ebon Mights are going to go on these 4 DPS. What about the rest of the raid? The rest of the raid has been summoned. The Evokers are going to start their buffs, and then only after that is when the rest of the group joins in. This allows these 4 players to be giga boosted by the 4 Evokers and pull super high numbers. You can see in this frame that right before the pull, right as everyone starts teleporting in, the Warlock in question has quadruple Ebon Might on him, and also triple Prescience, so 9% more crit. Now, this is pretty funny if we consider Blizzard already tried to curb this style. Remember back when Augmentation was being released, we had some players that were, for example, stacking some 20 plus Augmentation Evokers and discovered, hey, looks like Blizzard did not put a cap on the amount of Evokers that can buff a single player, so they went on and basically destroyed Heroic Aberrus with just a couple of DKs pulling ridiculous numbers. This was also seen in PvP as well, people memeing around with like a 9 Evoker, 1 DPS comps in Battlegrounds where the DPS player was basically unkillable. You know, it has been going around quite a bit. So Blizzard nerfed that, reduced the amount of maximum stacking doable by Evokers to only 4 Augmentation Evokers. Still, as we see here, it can be prone to creating some problems. On one side of the coin, let's still look at things positively. It is nice, or we should say it is lucky, that this spec has been released in the middle of a season. In the summer, after Diablo 4 came out, after Baldur's Gate 3 came out, after a new season of PoE is about to come out. So basically in a dead period that doesn't really impact too much. If this was released at the start of a season, it could have been, you know, it could have been ruining people's season at the start if the beginning of the season was so unbalanced. Instead, you know, the fact that it came out almost 3 months into the season, it's like, okay, fine, things are not nearly as important now, it's not that bad. Now, the bad side of the coin is, of course, the question of what is Blizzard going to do about this, and what is Blizzard going to do about their own creation, their own experiment, right? Their own first support spec. Now, many players have given up on the hope of seeing this spec augmentation ever balanced. They said, you know what, I know that Blizzard will try and try again this expansion to make augmentation work as a support spec. They will fail, and by the next expansion they will give up and turn augmentation into a pure DPS spec. That's what many players are convinced about. The other ones might have a little bit of a harder time finding a solution on what to do with this spec and how they function. Obviously, in this video, all we are seeing is how OP they can be in giving you damage, in giving you also the most important type of damage in the game, which I'm asking all of my classroom today. The most important type of damage in this game is... it starts with a B, 5 letters. It's burst, okay? It's burst damage. Now, augmentation have an entire cooldown based around this, Breath of Eons. So besides these clips showing how strong augmentation can be for damage, this doesn't even highlight how powerful they can be for tanks and healers. Because not many things in this game can make tanks or healers stronger. So I thought this clip, this idea that Color came up with was pretty fitting, you know, to remind us, just in case we had forgotten, how complicating it will be over time to try to figure out a way to deal with Augmentation Evoker. I'm very happy that this is happening. I want to see Blizzard... I'm interested in seeing Blizzard figuring out, you know, finding out a way to make this spec not so polarizing and difficult to balance around in this game. For now, I guess what we have left is to just wait the following patches reaching 10.2 to see if they have any plans for doing anything to this spec before the season launches. It will be also very big to see the change of augmentation on the release of a season, because so far we have only seen augmentation far into a season already, without the race to world first, without super difficult, hard-tuned bosses at release, etc. We will see that, we will experience that in Season 3, in 10.2. So that's how far we will have to wait to see how the spec will do in a proper launch of a new season. But for today, we can leave each other with this tidbit of news about the power of augmentation evokers. So we are leaving, as usual, thanking the Patreon supporters for the contribution and the help, which, as usual, can still be given for free. You guys can like and comment down below on this video, as well as subscribing to the channel itself. Now, with these things out of the way, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, oh my god, I had to shut down everything, every fan, just to make this video, and now I am boiling. So back to some freshness, please.